Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another video where we are working in the game animation sample. This will be a quick one. I believe I forgot to show you how I set up the animation blueprint for the NPCs. It's a very simple version of an animation blueprint, but I think it got lost. I made the video, but I think it got lost in like video 14, 15 or something where I had to remove some stuff where I was doing gun things and I had to stop doing that. So I'm gonna quickly walk you through my current animation blueprint setup for the NPC. As you can see here, it's called Master NPC Simple. So this is the version that I'm gonna keep quite performant and clean and not very advanced. Then later I will probably make a simplified motion matching animation blueprint that we can use for NPCs as well, because there's a lot of stuff in there that's not really used or that's not really set up in an optimal way. But I'm also waiting for 5.7 to see what improvements they bring to the GASP project as well before I do that. So until then, I'm gonna use a simplified version of an NPC animation blueprint. Basically, if we go to our NPC, I have an animation blueprint called ABP NPC Simple. So just right click, animation, animation blueprint, and then you choose the skeleton that you are actually using for your NPC. I'm using the Fortnite mannequin. If we open this one up, it's extremely simple. We have blueprints, begin, play, could also be initialize animation. Doesn't matter, you can use whichever of this one you want to. But when the game starts, we try to get the pawn owner. So try get pawn owner, which is the character or pawn that is using this animation blueprint. We cast the character and save the reference as a variable. In this case, I'm calling it owning character, so just right click, promote to variable. And this is basically just we have a reference to our character. The cast here is fine, it's happening once on begin play, and we're casting to a base class, so we're not really adding any weird dependencies or anything. We also, from the owning character, get the character movement and set the owning character movement component. This is also, I want to let you know, this is pretty much just a basic third-person mannequin setup, almost. Then on blueprint update animation, we do the same. If the pawn owner is valid, could actually do like this. Convert to validated get is probably a good idea. Do it like that, because we set this up here, so as soon as this is valid, it's gonna start doing this. We set up the speed, it's just grabbing the movement component, get the velocity, to set the velocity, and the vector length of the velocity is the current speed variable. And I set up falling, get the movement components. If we are falling, we're setting falling to true. Otherwise, it's going to be false. That's pretty much it for the update. So it's a very simple update. Probably going to add some more stuff in here later, but for now. The animation graph, also super simple. First, we want to add our default slot, and without this, none of your attack animations and stuff will work. So this is what the slot that we're actually going to play the animation is in. So it's going to happen right before the output pause. So just right click, slot, default slot. Can obviously add other slots. We might do that later, but for now it's just going to be the default slot. For the movement, right click, state machine, new state machine, call it movement or whatever you want to. Then inside of this, we only have two states. We have the idle and we have the moving. And that's pretty much it. So if we start by looking at the transitions here, you're gonna add state, So moving, idle. Then you drag, and you have 2 transitions here. So for the transitions, we're gonna go from idle to moving if the speed is more than 0.5 or 0.51 or whatever. And we're gonna go from moving back to idle if the speed is less than 0.5, less or equal to 0.5. And you can mess around with the blend stuff if you want to make it sharper or less sharp or stuff like that, but I found the default values work quite well. For the idle, we just have, for now, I haven't like done this in a modular way or anything. We will probably make this a variable so that we can choose different idle animations and so on depending on the setup of the NPC. But for now, just hard-coded to a idle animation, and the moving is just hard-coded to a movement animation. For the movement blend space, it's a pretty standard blade space. It's just a right-click animation, blend space here, call it whatever you want to, and then you add your movement animation, or actually new animation, blend space. I'm gonna show you how I set it up. So you can see from the beginning the values are like 100 and so this is where we set up our animations and what animations to be played with what variable. So for the horizontal axis, we're gonna do minus 180 to 180. No, yeah. And for the vertical, we're gonna do like 360 or something. 0. Am I doing this correctly now? Yeah. Why does it say 100 there? Sorry. Name. Sorry, the name should be direction. And the name here should be speed. Minimum value is 0, the maximum 360 or something. Or I mean, could be whatever. The fastest NPC speed you will have. Maximum value. So here it is minimum minus 180 and 180. So for now we're only adding animations here for the speed. But later we're gonna have like strafing animations here if we wanna add some strafing stuff to the movement of the NPC. But for now, as you can see here, it's the same, and then I have just added at 91 we walk, at 262 we sprint. Yeah, it's just a jogging animation after that, just to not blend it. Because you can see if the speed is 177 now, it's gonna blend between them, and so if I remove this and only have this here, it's gonna look weird. So I want to have them at all speeds. Yeah, that's just a very simple movement blend space, and that's what's plugged in here, so you just drag it in. If it doesn't work to drag it in, it's because you accidentally set it to use different skeletons, so make sure it's using the same skeleton. Direction is 0 now, we have no direction calculation, so we're probably gonna add some strafing later or whatever, but for now, direction is just gonna be 0, and the speed is gonna be what drives the actual movement. So that is a very simple setup of the simple version of our NPC. As I said, we're later probably gonna add a game animation sample variation of the NPC movement, but probably gonna wait for 5.7 and make a simplified version of it to make it a little bit more performant. I wouldn't recommend having like 20 plus NPCs with the current game animation sample project. It's fairly heavy. But yeah, if it works, it works. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Bye.